But when I started to discover ecstatic dance, I went to other DJs playing, and they played music that I will never listen or put myself. But while dancing, I felt like, wow, it accessed another feeling in me. So my musical taste and genre went really open, related to dancing. Music I will never buy or listen to. Now I start to look, wow, this is interesting music. So my perception on music went very open. Like it could go even in classical music or music that you would say, I will never play it, but it can trigger you in another way to move the body. When there is 3 beats or a waltz, or there is 3 beats, or when there is 5 beats and it becomes more shamanic or more trippy, or when there is breakbeat or bass, it's different than 4 to the floor, or then a trance track, it's very uplifting and up-tempo, while some down music or hard music can access another feeling in your heart or in your being, in your emotions. So.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Tikki Masala. How are you, Tikki?
Very good, thank you.
Very nice. So Tikki Masala is a DJ and particularly an ecstatic dance DJ, which is the best thing in Koh Phangan. Ecstatic dance, we can say. Definitely one of the most popular events. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, what is your story in life?
When I was a young boy, I started to be interested in music because I had a cousin and he was inspiring me. He had the turning tables very high when I was a small kid. So on Christmas, New Year, we always come together and I was always excited to see what is there so high, unable to reach. So when I grew up over the years, I saw there were turning tables, like with vinyl, maybe you know. So over the years, I could reach on the tables and I was like always so interested to play with the mixer. And yeah, eventually he gave me some records when I grew older, and then I started to experiment and explore with records on vinyl. And like this, the interest in music started. Yeah, I get these little vinyls as a young child, and then started to mix with 2 turning tables, and yeah, from there the musical journey started basically without realizing something will come out of that. Yes.
Okay, and were your parents always supportive? I mean, it was initially as a hobby, I suppose, beyond school, is that right?
Yeah, it was not even a hobby. It was just, wow, I'm interested, let's do it, like a toy, like a game almost. And my parents, yes, they were supporting it. They say, oh, here are records. They gave me a little package of the top 20, you know, this type of little singles.
Okay.
So I could play them. I was not working, it was not school related or anything, but yes.
Okay, and do you remember when was your first gig? Like when you actually started becoming a DJ? Was it like for local friends, for family, or?
I started to buy at some point the big records, the LPs, and I was in the beginning very interested in techno music because I went to some techno parties and I liked the techno. It's a monotonous beat. So I was in the room playing with 2 vinyls, already a better gear I had, and it was starting to mix the 2 records together in beat. So you need to kind of match the beat and set them. And I was always doing it in my room for fun. And slowly, yeah, I met other friends. They came, and there was a little bar in a underground cafe, and they did a little techno party. They say, oh, come to play, we like the music you play. So I went to an underground techno party in the beginning, and yes, people liked it, and it was really fun to do that. It was not about the money, it was really about the idealism, about wow, playing techno music and people dancing, and yeah, that's how it all started. And then eventually there was one time a DJ a DJ contest. Oh. And I thought, okay, I participate just for fun, to see whatever is there and to grow more in it. And yeah, it went very well. Somehow I was very good in the end results. And yeah, from there another invitation came, and yeah, I went to the party for partying myself, but also interested in the music, go to the record stores. And in the beginning I had little money also, so I was going to the record store, and 1 vinyl cost at that time 300 Belgian francs, was it about? I don't know, in euros, I forgot now. But I needed to select really, that's what I like the most, because I like 20 records, but I could only buy 2 in a week or something. So I was listening to so many records to select the ones I like the most. And then slowly I built up a collection of vinyl, of music that I really liked the most. Without knowing all these artists, I was not into the party scene. I don't know now from the parties which are the famous guys. I just listen, I like, and I took it. And later on, supposed to be like there were like jewels inside in the collection. Yeah? You only find out later when I really start to see how the techno scene was evolving. Yeah? Like I Love Techno was a famous techno party in Belgium with big halls with all the international big DJs coming, and this is, yeah, for me a big exploration to go and see all these big producers actually and get their music and also start to play it. Yes.
Because I think Belgium is one of these countries where DJs are coming from, right? A lot, like Holland and Belgium, massive raves, etc. Mm-hmm. But I mean, did you immediately sort of start as a professional DJ, or you had like a side job, or how did it go at the beginning?
I did it always for fun, and still I do it for fun. It's a profession. I don't know how to say it really as a profession. It seems like a job or something. I don't like to identify with it. At that time it was different than now, of course, but I started as for fun. It was not about how much you get or you need to ask something. It was really, yes, an exploration into the music creativity and as an art to put these two records together. Like now it's all different technology, but at that time it was about managing to get the records right and the right choice and the right transitions and everything. Yes.
And so the journey started in your hometown, I suppose,
yes.
in northern Belgium,
Antwerp,
right?
yes.
Antwerp, okay, that's already quite a big town. And then, I mean, the journey continued elsewhere, or were you mostly DJ in Antwerp for many years? Or?
As you said before, Belgium and Holland were very popular for the scene in electronic music. Belgium was, now they call it retro house and retro techno. And at that time, without realizing, there was a very big artist and very big scene actually in the discotheques and the clubs. It was before my time, but there was big raves were there. I was still too young to go to the raves, but I heard about it. There was a lot of drugs involved at that time, but I was maybe 14, 15 years, so I didn't go to these clubs yet, but I was very inspired from older friends who went to these clubs, and they came with tapes home, and I listened to the tapes, how these guys are mixing, which records they're using. So I was very inspired to hear how the club scene works without going into a club. I was still too young. So yes, it all started actually in Belgium, and it's all grew a lot in Belgium. So I started to go to these techno parties and hang out with the scene. But at some point I felt a little bit, I'm not so much like outward going, like going to clubs and people and DJs hang out together and like this you get a spot to play somewhere. I was never so much in that, so at some point I was more starting to make my own music. I get on that illegal CD where there's all this cracked software on it, and so I installed Fruity Loops and Rebirth. I don't know if you know this software.
Okay.
And Cubase, all that.
Okay, so. I'm not sure, but I take your word for it. So these were software you were able to download, and with them you were able to sort of take some existing music and remix it? Or?
It was more starting from scratch. It was in the beginning of all this software. It was in the 89 or something, or 90s, beginning of the 90s somewhere, where I started to explore with this software where you draw notes and then there is a kick and a drum loop and everything, and you create your own songs and sounds just like these compositions. And it's techno based, of course, at that time, so I was not musically evolved. I didn't have musical schooling or anything, so it was pure rhythm, pure beats, pure techno and tech house.
But did you know about musical notes at all? Or?
No, I didn't. I was not educated into music at all at that time.
So yes. You just basically, probably you have this software, you start with a certain bass or a certain beat, and then you start layering things on top of it, is that right?
Yes.
And then by the end of it, you have a whole symphony, a whole track.
Yeah.
Cool. And then would you play it live to people as well in the clubs or like in the gigs? Or?
I had friends that they were also DJing, so I came with a lot of tapes. Yeah, it was at the time a tape, so I put it on the tape, I recorded it, and then we go in the friend's house and we listen to it. We were smoke a joint or drink some beers, and then we listen to it, and wow, amazing! You know, you dream again with other people together. And then sometimes I could play it, but I was playing vinyl and it was tape, so it was not really made especially for playing myself on the events. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, do you remember the first time you went to a big rave, like a Tomorrowland kind of place?
I never went to
Big
Tomorrowland
ones.
like this, but more I Love Techno was one of the first raves. I don't know, in Belgium it's in Ghent.
Okay.
There are like 3 big halls, super big halls, where is all the international big artists like Dave Clark and Jeff Mills, and I don't know if you know any of these names, but no, in the techno scene I will save you then all the names. But yeah, all the biggest in the scene, they came, and as a young boy it was really amazing to be on big sound systems and be in that space.
How many people would go and dance there? Like
Oh, it must
thousands?
be thousands.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, thousands, yes.
Okay, when I was in Holland, because I studied in Utrecht in the Netherlands, and I went to a party called the Four Elements in Rotterdam with 20,000 people, and that was like literally felt like out of this world. I think the large majority of people were on ecstasy at the time, and that probably contributed to this like really, outwardly sort of energy or environment. And we had a DJ every hour, so every hour we had a new DJ. The stage was massive, with like fake sort of fires made with some sort of props, etc. And it was really something extraordinary. But to be honest with you, although I love music very much, I never really got into the sort of the real scene, as you call it. I was more of a weekend clubber in London when I was living there, and I always enjoy going clubbing, but I'm not sophisticated like people like you are, obviously. But music is fantastic. I think most people can relate to this art form, right? It's one of the art forms that is more easily understood or related to by people.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were in Belgium for a long time, but of course you are very well known in our community, our conscious community here, because of sort of being the guy behind the Goa Ecstatic Dance, the Arambol Ecstatic Dance. Can you tell us the story about it?
So actually I went in 2005 the first time to India. I was not really yet concerned or busy with dance at all, actually. I had a party life, going to the club, to some techno parties and everything. And of course at the time there was some ecstasy and drugs being used, and after too much of this life I didn't feel good with it. You take a little bit, it makes you happy, but at some point it makes you more paranoid. I don't know if you ever experimented with these things. It doesn't matter, you don't need to tell
Not
on the
very
camera
much,
now.
not very much at all. I think I tried ecstasy once when I was in Holland, but otherwise, cannabis only.
So yeah, eventually I was like not good with that anymore. I feel like I don't want this life anymore. I need to escape the world, and I felt India could be the great escape, where I will not meet anybody.
For sure.
And I think I want to leave that life behind. It's not serving, I don't feel good, and I didn't resonate with all the things anymore. So I thought India is the great way to escape. I didn't know about Goa or about hippie style, I didn't know all of it. I think I'm going to escape there, and I just find a way to go to Delhi, Jaipur, Agra, Varanasi, and I don't know where to go. So yeah, I escaped to India, and I could melt away there. And of course in the beginning was very tricky and a bit scary, a new country, all alone. And there I came in contact with yoga and meditation and philosophy and all these things. But also I came in contact with different types of drugs at that time. There was more LSD and all these psychedelics came there. So of course with that drug past I was going to some trance parties. So not in the first month, but after some times. And yeah, of course there was exploration of yoga and meditation, but also this type of music. And Goa trance music, and yeah, it brought a completely different sense into the world, another country, another vibe, other people, and yes, at some point I started to be too much exploring with this LSD and this type of things, which was very interesting in a way, but at some point it became a bit crazy also and too much. And at some point in the Himalayas there was a party, a Goa trance party, and I took a bit too much, I think, and I started to dance, first time in my life. I danced before, but at some point the dance took me, and I started to dance, and my hair comes up on my arms, and yeah, I kind of felt like some Shiva energy, and I felt like Shakti comes inside me, and I felt like the dance is like making love. And it was so free and wild that I was almost scared that people will see, like as if I'm making love on the dance floor, and you're there naked, and everybody looks, and I needed to go away. It was outdoor.
Wow.
And in the outdoor, I go behind the tree and explore this more, how it is to make love in a way with myself or with this energy. And there was the first time real being felt what it is to move and to dance. And yeah, from there on, after I felt also I have enough, in short, the story, to kind of stop that life with all that substance use and everything. And then the yoga and the meditation became more present and more stronger in life. But I had the memory inside of me of that dancing and that moving. So it was very interesting to explore that more. So then there was an ecstatic dance event be organized in the mountains, small one by somebody. And I thought, I don't know what it is, but I want to explore it. And the guy on the facilitator say, it's ecstatic dance, you can move however you like, nobody will judge you. You can dance wild, free dance, as if nobody is looking, so say, like they say in the movement. So I was like, okay, I'm going to explore that moving, like on that trance party. So I start to dance in that way, and I start to feel the same awakening of that energy.
Wow.
So realizing that it was maybe not the substance, but the movement. If we really can allow ourselves to move, yeah, then the movement starts to take over. And it was an amazing, yeah, exploration, an amazing discovery to go in that. And okay, after some things happened with the sensitivity. I took some certain plant seeds material, which were like medicinal, they call it these days, but like plants, psychedelics. And something happened, and I get fear and paranoid about something. And yeah, for a few months, I was very scared. I thought I will not make it. I want to kill myself. I don't want to live. I need to go to the psychiatry.
Ooh.
Like hanging in something, psychosis, I don't know what it is. So at that point was the major turning point that I went to Rishikesh. I went for prayer life, kind of. I went for yoga and meditation. I flushed everything in the Ganga, I washed it all out. And I was super sensitive at that time. So yeah, it took me about 1 year to kind of go through that. So then I went back to Belgium, thinking to go to the psychiatry or to anything to stop it. But I chose to do the prayer direction, and I chose to ask for higher help from spirit guide, so call it, whatever you want to call it, or inner higher self. And yeah, it took me 1 year struggle and fear to go through it, but I felt little by little confidence to come through it. And after 1 year, I felt stable enough to start to come back into life. So then I saw in Belgium, Ecstatic Dance Belgium started, and I had one taste already. And I was like, okay, I go there, and I go on the first event, which just happened, and I was still scared to be around people, like socially awkward. So I went to the event, and I danced same way, and I was like, wow, all this energy came up. And then when it was finished, I just went away, and next week I went again. And these people of the organization, they say like, wow, nice, it's nice that you have on the dance floor, you really give yourself to the dance, that's what we want to do here. So I kind of start to help around with the setting up the sound and the lights, and yeah, I grew on it like this, like being a helper, yeah, like a space holder, helper to be there. So I went to dance every week, and then they started 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, 2 times in the week. And this was my daily or weekly practice to move into that dance and to slowly, yeah, like a therapy, go beyond it. And yeah, at some point I felt strong enough again, and there was a call to go back to India.
Okay.
And then I came back to India, and then I went to Arambol. And yeah, there was, at that moment when I arrived there, that year there was no ecstatic dance. The year before I was exploring with Arunji, he was also playing ecstatic dance there. It was a beautiful journey. And the year later there was no ecstatic dance, and I felt really the need for myself to dance. So I came in contact with one guy. He was there having the venue, the banyan tree. And he asked me, do you want to do a concert in my place? I was playing some flutes and concert, and I said, no, I would like to do ecstatic dance. And he said, yeah, sure, anything you like. I like your music, your productions. He listened to my music productions. So I did an ecstatic dance, and it was, I play a song and I go to dance. It was really like this. And the song almost finished, I put another song and I go to dance. It was not focused on DJing really. It was really much, I want to dance and put the song and just facilitate it in the same way, in the classical way. Like I've been educated in it. In Belgium was really a safe space where they contain the dance floor in a good way to really go in the therapeutic way, I would say, almost. Classic style. Like no talking, no drugs, no alcohol. And the wave of the music through all emotions was well held by these people. And so then I started to do the ecstatic dance as organizer and DJ and facilitating.
I was in India in 2018. I was in Arambol, and guess what? I went to your Ecstatic Dance, and it was under this huge tree, and very next to the beach, pretty much. A very beautiful place, and yeah. So you held Ecstatic Dance in Arambol sort of on and off for how many years?
I started the first time in 2013 or 14, or the year of 2014, 13, 14. And yeah, in the beginning there was maybe 40, 50 people. They came, I'd make the flyers, I go around on the beach, everybody come and play, come and dance. And week after week it was really significantly growing, like from 50 people to 70, 80, 90. By the end of the season it was maybe 100 people. And then the next year, the season finished. I didn't know if it will happen again next year. So I came back in Arambol, the guys say, okay, let's do again. So every week I started to do again, every Friday was it. And yeah, year after year more people came, like 200 people next year, 300 people next year, 400 people. Wow. In the year that you came, 18, was actually near the peak experience, I think, when there was about 400 or 500 people or 600 people. And 2019 was really, it went through the roof. There was so many people, it was a bit too much to hold and to contain. With 600-700 people on a weekly basis was very big, but it lost a little bit of the authenticity of the dance because everybody came as a popular event. It was less deeper than if you would go with less people. So, yes.
Yeah. Because you mentioned that the first time you had a real glimpse of losing yourself into the dance was during this quasi-mystical experience that you had in the mountains, in the Himalayas, right? And one of the characteristics of ecstatic dance is that is held as a ritual almost, where people are coming together energetically. The music typically starts quite slow and then has some peaks and some troughs and goes up and down. But people can literally melt into the music and have almost a meditative experience or almost a mystical experience, right? And that's fascinating. But I mean, what is ecstatic dance for you? I mean, how can you explain what is ecstatic dance and why should people, experience this very magical way of connecting with others and themselves?
For me personally, it was the experience in the Himalayas there in the mountains was actually a glimpse of what can happen. And without it, maybe I will never go and dance myself on ecstatic dance, but I don't say somebody needs this experience to go, so I can really say, try and go and try to go beyond this mental set, like before I need to drink or you need to stand with a cigarette and a glass of beer to stand behind the glass and you don't really dance, it's a bit moving. Like ecstatic dance is more like expressing the emotions and it's like going really deep inside. In some moments you access some unpleasant feelings or very pleasant feelings. Like ecstatic dance could be misunderstood like ecstasy, which has nothing to do with it. It's like ecstatic, it's like static and go outside the static. The stillness of getting rusted in one place. It's to move and go around in space and move the body and like 5 rhythms. In the 5 rhythms are 5 different rhythms and every rhythm has a kind of a trigger for access a certain emotion. And for me, ecstatic dance is also like musically, I like to bring these 5 rhythms into different order, not in the same order that they do in the 5 rhythms, to kind of go in all these different states of emotion or consciousness or unconsciousness or whatever it is.
Yes, because indeed music has a strong resonance and music can easily trigger emotions. I mean, the Hollywood people know it very well because if there's a romance and at the end of the romance, the lady kisses the guys, you have a certain type of sweet music that comes with it. Whilst if you have the Braveheart hero going to battle, you're not going to have the same music as the romance, you're going to have more like a boom, 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 some sort of tribal music or something, because different music resonates with different chakras, potentially, or different emotions. So you know the 5 rhythms, and then you blend this kind of resonances to create an experience for people, right? So what are what is your influence? What are the main music that you use?
When I just started with music, it was mainly techno, and then later it went to tech house in the club scene then at the time. But when I started to discover ecstatic dance, I went to other DJs playing, and they played music that I will never listen or put myself. But while dancing, I felt like, wow, it accessed another feeling in me. So my musical taste and genre went really open, related to dancing, music I will never buy or listen to. Now I start to look, wow, this is interesting music. So my perception on music went very open. Like it could go even in classical music or music that you would say, I will never play it, but it can trigger you in another way to move the body. When there is 3 beats or a waltz, or there is 3 beats, or when there is 5 beats and it becomes more shamanic or more trippy, or when there is breakbeat or bass, it's different than 4 to the floor, or then a trance track, it's very uplifting and up-tempo, while some down music or hard music can access another feeling in your heart or in your being, in your emotions. So it's good to be able to trigger that and witness that through different styles of music. So, but then I felt, even though I liked all the music that I played, but I felt maybe I close a little bit up, but I really select all the music that I really love the most, and not play just any genre to play ecstatic dance. Because ecstatic dance, the idea is you need to play all the different styles, and which is in a way true, but it doesn't need to be always in pop music, or there needs to be a reggae track. It can be, but it doesn't need to be like this. So I kind of chose a direction that I feel this works to go in all these different layers.
Okay, and when you prepare a deck of music for a new ecstatic, I mean, then do you play it sort of religiously, the way you organized it, or in the moment when you're DJing you decide to change? How do you sort of create the music experience or prepare for the ecstatic dance?
I've tried everything. As I say, in the beginning of the dance, I just play a track, I go to dance, and then I play another track. But over the time, I explore to be completely random, freestyle, unprepared. But then over time I was also, what if I play this track after this track, then they can melt together in the right key, because if you mix in the right time, there is the key transitions where you have a harmonic mixing and also beat mixing. So if you have the right tempo together, they match together. So it becomes like a glue together. So if you stay the glue, then you're mixing 2 songs and people are not noticing what's happening actually. So I really enjoy to bring the people in this journey like a tour guide. So I feel if you're a tour guide, you want to know a little bit which direction you want to take the people to.
Okay.
So over time, I felt it very important to prepare the music. Of course, there are people with different ideas. No, you need to be in the moment and just improvise. But I see also when you improvise completely from zero, you're always in the laptop checking which track I need to play now. And if you're holding space for the people, you want to see what's on the dance floor happening. So you're relating with the people, they relate with you. And that's not happening when you're diving into your screen all the time. So I think when you're better prepared, at least I do it like this, I'm well prepared, but of course it can change every direction. If you feel the energy goes too high and people are tired or they need more or longer, of course you need to be ready to kind of take the journey to another direction. But then still I'm kind of prepared also, if it goes this direction, what I will do this direction. So it's more like, you can play for the people or you can bring the people somewhere. And over time, it's a good thing to learn to say, I want to take the people that way. Instead of I play what they want, no, I bring them where I want them to be in that type of wave, in that musical wave.
Yes, and obviously for you, it seems you are totally part of the ecstatic dance experience as a DJ, as a facilitator. So you are there together with the people dancing, right? So it's is it a fun experience for you? Is it like a draining experience, or is it like uplifting experience hosting ecstatic dance?
Well, in Arambol at the time when it became very big, it was 600-700 people there. It was, I don't want to say draining, but it was really exhausting because there was so much happening on the dance floor. Some people, they took joints or alcohol and they cannot be stopped. And yeah, of course, you lose energy in the giving and in the receiving. You receive energies of people and you give energies to the people which maybe are lost along the way. So that could be very, I was happy to after dance go home alone and take rest or dance my own set, which I did many times to kind of feel how it felt. But overall, when I am not in very big amount of people, when there is a clean atmosphere, it's very energy giving. Even though, of course, it takes a lot of energy also, you put a lot of out there, but it's fulfilling because you feel you support the people in a process. And yeah, in a way, it's like if there is a shaman, he gives medicine to the people, and the medicine is the music. So in a way, you're actually holding space for the people while giving them the medicine. I don't want to pretend like shamanic, there is all shamanic, but I think any people who carry people in a ritual or in a therapy or whatever, in a healing through music or medicine or whatever, it's a kind of therapeutic work, and if you want to call it shamanic or psychological work.
Sure. And it's fantastic when at the end of the ecstatic, people feel very soft and very heart open, and you know, palpably you can feel the energy, the connection, and the love, and the unity of everybody together, you know. And then you lie down and you close the ceremony, and it's really beautiful to see how people feel afterwards. And you know, if you stay until the end of the class, when the experience, you'll feel something very, very different. You'll have you know, you'll be in an altered state of consciousness of some sort, and that's shamanic indeed, you know, in my opinion. If you can induce altered states of consciousness on people, and you know, and you can. That's why I think it's very important how you close it as well, the kind of words that you use at the end, because when people are in this kind of state, they're more receptive, they're more open, they're more vulnerable. So, you know, it's really a fantastic experience, I think. But I like now to focus on Koh Phangan and you know, what you're currently doing.
Yeah, so actually I was in Belgium and I went to a festival in Greece, and I thought, I like Greece, I want to go for the winter to a little bit warmer country. And then I get an invitation from a venue, Shivari. Maybe you did an interview with Shivari, with Natasha. So she called me and she appreciated my music a lot. She came to dance in Goa and here in Koh Phangan a few years ago. I did here also weekly dances. And yeah, she appreciated a lot my work, and she invited, she said, make a new venue, and would you want to come to be resident DJ in the new space? And I was thinking how seriously I can take it. So I looked to your interview that you did with her, and I see, yeah, it's real. It's not Koh Phangan flying storage. She was really have the venue there. And yeah, I thought, wow, winter in Thailand can be good, even though I'm not always the big fan of high seasons in Goa or here. But I thought, okay, it will be nice. So yeah, this brought me actually this time to Koh Phangan.
Shivari is a really extraordinary place in my opinion, because Natasha and the space have the potential to become a real sort of landmark in Koh Phangan. I really hope it does manifest that way. I think the land is beautiful, what she's done with the building is very good, and also the kind of energy and focus she's putting into it is really remarkable. So I think there are all the elements for this space to become a space on the island. But of course, you know, there was an opportunity that was presented to you because she knew you already. But why do you love Koh Phangan though? Because, you know, you could have gone back to Goa. The season is starting there too.
First of all, about Shivari, the invitation came for that, doing that, and she said, I want to create a space where there is no drugs or alcohol available. And I know now you can smoke everywhere in Thailand, and maybe many people do it, but I like for the dance to really keep it separate. If people do it on another place, so she was taking direction of like, we want to create a space without it, and I felt like it's a very good match for this. So that was first of all a plus point to come to do it. And why not going to Goa? Well, I was in Goa for 3 years non-stop with the lockdown, which was very great to be there. I'm very happy to be there 3 years. But then when I made it away there, to go back to Europe for visiting family after the long break, somehow I lost the feeling to go there. I still have the beautiful memories there, but a lot of things changed all over the world, I know that. But somehow I didn't felt the call to go there. And yeah, many things changed there, and I had resistance to go there. And I had an attraction to come here, and existence put an invitation to come here. And yeah, I was in need for a warmer summer and a beautiful tropical place. And this place stayed in the memory since 2019. I was the last time here. Yeah,
because I remember you being a guest DJ in Ecstatic Dance before. So you knew Koh Phangan already, right?
Yeah. Yes, I came every year after Arambol actually. Here.
Okay.
Yes.
And you would be a guest DJ on Ecstatic, right?
I did some in Bhajans. At the time there was Bhajans. I did weekly events, and also in Gaia. I don't know if you know Gaia.
Sure. It's Bowie Beach. It used to be a lovely yoga school.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know, Gaia Nature Resort, it's somewhere near...
Okay, that one is the sauna place, near the
Khao
Ra.
Yeah.
That's also very beautiful.
Yes,
now it's being redeveloped, it's going to be a new center there as well.
Yeah. So that was a great place to do it. It was already lower season, and I actually like a lot the lower seasons, like after March, April, May, June, July, August, lovely time, many people left, but there is still people there, and not the high intensity of the high buzz, you know, but you live here, so you know this type.
Sure.
these times.
I like it both. I like the quietness of the low season and you know, the special sort of space that you have on the island, and also the fact that you can connect with people who live here all the time. But I also like the high energy of the January, February crowd, because there's some sort of usual people coming back just for the high season, very dear friends that I see and I hang out with. And also, you know, this like continuous energy of beautiful people coming to the island, wanting to have a great time here, you know, wanting to experiment, wanting to learn about themselves. I enjoy both sides, but I do understand what you say, that certainly the low season is also very special. But okay, so now you started like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? Starting the Ecstatic Dance in Shivari, and you're looking to do it throughout the high season. So we are looking forward, you know, of course, to, you know, being in Shivari, and it's going to be once a week. What day is he on?
Thursdays.
Yes, Thursdays.
Welcome.
Very nice. So Thursdays at Shivari, it's Tikki Masala, Ecstatic Dance, very special. Well, thank you very much for coming and sharing your story with me.
Thank you for inviting.
Kapun Kap.
Namaste.